better watch out if your enemies are road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets caught real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score. Never getting bored, lots of blood and gold. Always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel it. Force the party. If you start shit, you be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you let scars rip. You be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better get...
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Voice of Reason podcast. Tonight's show we're going to be talking about is JD Vance quietly working behind the scenes with maybe Rupert Murdoch and I don't know, the Heritage Foundation to get rid of Donald Trump as a result of this Epstein scandal. Donald Trump is freaking out about the entire thing. Wants everybody to just stop talking about it. So we're going to talk about it, that and more tonight on tonight's episode. We're also going to talk a little bit about democratic socialism and why it is on the rise, and also why in a lot of modern European countries, it is the preferred government or method of governing, I guess, these days. And they've been extremely successful adopting it, while America continues to live in this delusion of, hey, if I work hard enough and make all the right choices in life, I'll be rich too, which most of us know that is a complete and utter fabrication. So other than that, let's get into it. What's going on, Mike? How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I think, is that your new hat to replace the one that you threw out in the city?
Yeah, after I got back I got back from New York, dude. My hat is cooked. It was covered in it was all salt. You know how when you sweat a lot and your hat dries up and it's just nothing but salt? Yeah, I had to get rid of it. So I had to buy a couple other hats to replace that one. Man, that was a long day. I was whooped by the time I got back.
It was
from that. Day, that was a lot of fun though. I showed some clips from that the other day, and Mike sent me some pictures and some videos, and I'm going to be working on a new opening video for the show tomorrow using some of the footage that we got. So, it should be really interesting. So let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about today. Again, Congress is so desperate to make this Epstein thing go away that they have taken recess early. They've decided to just go. They're just going to go home and not talk about it.
And you know what's really funny about that? What really terrifies me is that they're voting. Mike Johnson's turning off Congress. They're still going to get paid. They still got their health care. But the Democrats were going to call a vote that you would think wouldn't matter, right? Because who's in control of Congress? The Republicans. Right. But Mike Johnson, ergo Donald Trump, is so terrified that they can't risk Republicans voting.
Right, of course not.
And what is that going to mean? Well,
it's so bad. We also have Donald Trump desperately trying to turn the attention to Obama. They again want to prosecute Obama. They're saying that the punishment for treason, they're saying Obama has committed treason and should be punished to death. Seriously.
And again,
that's what they're saying right now.
The amount of deflection is becoming, I don't even want to say hyperbolically that it's becoming an art form with them, because it's just the way every other modern dictator does it. You just deflect and ignore no matter what's going on, no matter what proves it. To be able to deflect to Obama, the irony is that's another campaign promise he's not going to keep, because they're not going to arrest Obama. They're just not going to do it. And if they do, and nothing happens from that, which I don't think anyone running or in our government right now has the balls to stop them, but
no,
he's not going to do that. But the fact is that the Obama, his office, because he's, still part of everything as a former president, he has an office that deals with his business, with anything related to the government, his presidential legacy. They put out this statement. Out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response. But these claims are outrageous enough to merit one. These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. That's great. This is the best part of it. Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes. These findings were affirmed in a 2020 report by the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee, led by then Chairman Marco Rubio.
Right. You know, it's crazy. Is like MAGA's running with this. They've literally stopped talking about Epstein almost. And all they talk about now is Obama, as if Obama doesn't also have presidential immunity. They didn't just give Donald
Yep.
Trump immunity, they gave all presidents immunity. So even if this were true, which it is not, it is
Yep.
100% a made up distraction to get everybody off of the Epstein case, which will never happen. I mean, Donald Trump's DOJ is desperate. They went to what? They're meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yep.
Yeah, JD Vance is having secret meetings with Rupert Murdoch,
Now,
unannounced meetings with Rupert Murdoch.
Look, you could say, and what I think the official response is that Vance went there to plead with Murdoch.
Sure.
What we all know is how about this? Equally likely is one of the architects and co-authors of Project 2025, JD Vance.
Yeah.
Okay. We've said this before. Donald Trump isn't the end game. Donald Trump was the bait to get democracy handed over to the Christian nationalist fascists.
They needed the base.
Project 2025 was the goal. We're at the point now where a few days ago it was at about 46% complete. They are not even ahead of schedule. They are exactly on schedule because they knew once they got power, they were going to disassemble this government. And that's what they're doing. They don't need Donald Trump anymore. So was JD Vance going to Rupert Murdoch to plead Donald Trump's case? Sure, maybe. Or he could have went there to be like, look, everything's coming along. We're halfway through. He serves no purpose anymore. You could take him down now. We all look like heroes. Because this is the other part that people need to understand. And I've said this before. Donald Trump didn't win over MAGA. Donald Trump didn't create MAGA. People like Rush Limbaugh, like Steve Bannon, they created MAGA. Yeah. The intent was, because these are all people who are devout fascists. Okay, they want Christian nationalist control over this country. And they decided they needed someone that they could get the idiots and the religious people to vote for, and they did. Now, look, Donald Trump is turning on them. He's telling them that they're stupid for believing Epstein, their former supporters, all that. He knows he doesn't need them because he thinks he won. He thinks he's the emperor. They're going to keep him propped up long enough to do such visible, terrible shit that Vance and everyone can turn on him and go, look, he was always the problem. The Dems were right, but since we're in control now, we'll just, fix everything.
Right. I think they're going to make, because they needed Donald Trump's bait. We talked about this a million times. We always felt like JD Vance was the plan, not Donald Trump, because nobody understood why JD Vance was even nominated the vice president nominee.
Literally,
you couldn't figure it out.
He has no function. No one knew who he was. He wasn't on any radar. He's never done anything of note except change his name 12 times and wear way too much eyeliner for a straight dude.
Right. But yeah, just to give you an example, we knew exactly. This was when we figured out that JD Vance was the plan. It was when we saw this video of Kevin Roberts. I'll play it real quick.
Yep.
How excited he was that because JD Vance is a protege
JD
of
Vance
the Heritage
is one
Foundation.
Of the people who helped edit and write Project 2025.
Yep, he has been groomed by Peter Thiel and the Heritage Foundation for this moment.
When we didn't know who he was, we did the research. Other than go, Donald Trump picked JD Vance. JD Vance must be vice president. We went, who's this potato-looking schmuck?
right.
And learned that of exactly who he was. You know why? Because Google exists. And you can just look for shit.
Right? It's amazing. It's amazing. I still find it so crazy that in the day of information, the ease of access we have to information, we still have such a dumb population. All right. So anyway, here's the video of Roberts being extremely happy that JD Vance got the nod.
1 second, please.
Okay.
This was the moment he found out.
Senator Vance is the vice presidential running mate. You will see a broad smile on my face because you may know that we're good friends. I will offer 2 comments about that. The first is The
happy the
entire
plan worked.
list of names considered
yeah.
are great men and women, truly.
Blah, blah, blah. And then here's a video real quick. I'm sorry, I'll play this real quick. It's only 10 seconds long. But here's JD Vance thanking Kevin Roberts on a different occasion.
And I want to thank especially Kevin Roberts and all of the Heritage Foundation for 50 years of incredible work on conservative policy. The old famous...
Yeah, they're one and the same. They're one in the same. They have the same goals.
If you don't understand that fascism is the point, you have to do a couple of things. One, stop pretending that the words you hear the right using are the real words, because they don't. They mix them up. We're going to find that out when we talk about democratic socialism today. It's not communism. Those are different things.
Yes, very.
Just like they don't understand constitutional republic and democracy are essentially the same thing. But they don't mince words when it comes to their plan. That guy was not surprised that JD Vance was picked. Listen to the words. We have just confirmed that JD Vance has been picked. At that moment, no one, not one human being on the planet, except people in the Heritage Foundation, knew who JD Vance was.
Right.
Who was he talking to? He wasn't saying, hey, Republicans, hey, MAGA voters, we just got the best pick for Donald Trump. He's going to help everyone. He went, we confirm our pick was put in place. We are winning. Continue with project. Like, that's literally what it was.
You know what I came to learn is that MAGA voters think we live in a constitutional republic because they are Republicans. They think just because it has the word republic in it, that it's somehow different. They're
not a
idiots.
democracy like the Democrats. We're a republic like Republicans.
Right. Yeah. Okay, guys. Again,
what do we do?
Not understanding basic English.
What do we do when we explain to MAGA that there
MAGA
used to be a party in this country called the Whigs? Are they
I know.
the drag queens?
No, the drag queens are taking over again. All right, so let me play this video of they're so panicked in the House of Representatives and Congress that they literally are like, we're leaving, we're out of here. Right, but here is a video of this little weasel Mike Johnson who thinks he's Moses.
Oh wait, guess who Mike Johnson is?
Who?
Another guy of the Heritage Foundation.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like this was the, wait for it, project that they were working on for 2025. Huh.
And if you would have listened to us instead of saying, oh, it's liberal propaganda, we probably wouldn't be in this situation right now. But anyway,
I just thought, sorry, just before the video, I just read this, just coalesced in my ridiculous brain. You know how like all these idiot, lunatic, scumbag mass shooters always leave manifestos about religion's great, gays are bad, blacks are bad, Jews are bad, Muslims are bad, Chinese are whatever, all that. That's what Project 2025 was. That was the manifesto.
Yeah.
That's it. Donald Trump winning was the shot, the mass killing of democracy. That's it. That's my TED Talk for today.
But now, again, they only needed Donald Trump for his base. He is now quite literally disposable. And they're looking for any reason, I think, to get rid of him and put JD Vance in the top spot. And I think they're going to use this Epstein thing to do it. But here's, I'll play the video of Mike Johnson trying to weasel his way out of why they're leaving and why it's taking so long for things like the Epstein files to come out. I may have...
There's a lot of names he's got. A lot of times I got to black out.
Yeah, I may have had some fun with this video a little bit.
No, but I, as you all know, I speak to the president multiple times a day on a typical day, often, always. And what I know about the president's heart on this is that he agrees with everything I've said here today. Heart on it. He wants maximum transparency.
Oh, you said hard on.
Also, very insistent that he not subject people who have already been victims of unspeakable crimes to further public scrutiny. Hard on. It would be a very dangerous thing. Hard on to put those people in a release of information in a way that is haphazard, where they could be easily unmasked.
Hard on.
So you have to be very careful about how you do that. I think we have a moral responsibility to do that. We have a moral responsibility to expose the evil of Epstein and everybody was involved in that. Absolutely. Hard on. And we're resolved to do it. But we also have an equal moral responsibility to protect the innocent. And that is a fine needle to thread. And we could all give ourselves easy political cover and come out and do something in a haphazard fashion, but I would not be able to say...
Yeah, he's talking about moral responsibility.
Wait a minute.
Get the
His
fuck out of here.
argument is okay, so this is my favorite part, by the way. They're ignoring that Donald Trump keeps saying they don't exist and it's in a hoax. Think about that. The entire Trump administration is now ignoring that the president is saying it's made up, it doesn't exist. They're all acting on, okay, we got to protect this asshole a little bit longer. So then what Mike Johnson says is, okay, all right, we have this document. And in this document, there are two types of names. There are the guilty people and the innocent people. And this document tells you that these guilty people did this horrible shit to these innocent people. And he's telling you they got to take the time to make sure they black out the right names. The document is what tells you who's the good guys and the bad guys. Even if you want to black out the people that are the victims, that should take you all of 20 minutes because it fucking tells you.
I'm just worried they're gonna try and cut a deal with Ghislaine Maxwell, her be like, you know what I mean, and her be on like, oh well, this was all a hoax, and and then they're gonna pardon her, and if she's gonna keep her mouth shut. I'm worried they're gonna make it out to like, I don't know. There's so much stuff going on. It's honestly hard to keep up with it all, and see what the end game is. I honestly don't think the end game is going to be Donald Trump will not be president much longer.
The end game is whatever it takes to destroy American democracy and supplant it with Christian nationalist fascism.
Right.
That is the plan. And if you were paying attention, we're at that point now where like, you know how like sometimes you work on stuff for a long time and the tool over time wears down. And then you realize, wow, I could replace this tool. Or since the project's done, I don't need the tool anymore. I've accomplished my goal.
And keep in mind that JD Vance, JD Vance is a true believer. That's what scares me. He is a true believer. No, Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about any of this.
He believes in his own ass. That's it.
Right. That's it. He does not care about religion. He doesn't care about God. He doesn't believe in any of that stuff. He believes in the almighty dollar, and that's it.
Love, respect, emotion, compassion. He is in it for himself to stay out of prison and live like a king. That's it.
Right. But Vance has been groomed since college. Okay. This is a fact, to be a true believer in this technocratic monarchy that they want to set up.
And why? Because as with all religion, you have people who are believers and people who are just going to believe because they're either too afraid or too stupid to know anything else.
Yeah.
You need the people in charge who believe it so that they work really hard because they believe it is their honest moral imperative to do this. JD Vance believes in his heart, as does every member of the Heritage Foundation, that America should be a Christian white nation.
Yep.
And full stop. End of sentence. That's it.
Yeah, he was the one that tweeted about, doesn't matter about the Medicaid cuts. All that matters is the ICE budget. So that's, he is a bigger threat, I think, than Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump is a complete psychopath, and he's unpredictable, and he's not easily controllable, I don't think.
And now you can't like pick up water with a fork. That's where we're at now. Like Donald Trump's brain is actual liquid. Like if he sneezes, not only will his diaper explode, his brains will shoot out.
I know, right? Actually, since you mentioned that, here's I'll play a clip from him trying to blame. They want to ask of course, the press is asking about Epstein, and he tries his best to then flip it to the Obama scandal. Because Obama was going after Donald Trump this whole time. Blah blah blah. We have evidence. Blah blah blah. No, you don't. This is just a distraction. But here, this is great.
Do you support the Justice Department seeking an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell? Did you urge the Attorney General to see?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
They're going to.
What is that gold? Like, what did he do to the Oval Office?
Reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney.
There's Stephen Miller.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that
in a tan suit.
Sounds appropriate to do.
Oh no,
he's in a tan suit.
Deputy Attorney General is your former attorney would be conducting the interview.
No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's
I don't know what's going on in my presidency.
Just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. and there should be very severe consequences.
What?
So he's saying Obama tried to rig the election, and they have evidence of it. Tulsi Gabbard. Names, words.
They don't have shit,
Liquid
man.
gold.
Yeah, but this is the stuff they're posting just so you can see on the internet.
Lon's right. What the hell does
Let me
that
remove
mean?
this.
Didn't get rich.
Oh, all right. Let me add this here. Yeah, this is a Twitter account called U.S. Homeland Security News. It's not an official government thing, but it has 440,000.
So.
Right, at 440,000 followers. And this is what they're posting on Twitter. The sentence for treason under the U.S. Constitution is death. If that were the case, if we still put people to death for this kind of thing, Donald Trump would have been in front of a fucking firing squad long before he got elected.
Hey, there's still
just
hope.
saying. Just saying. I mean, yeah, there's still hope. I mean, they are committing treason against the Constitution of the United States on a daily basis. They are wiping their ass with it and trying to replace it with, I don't even know what, because this is just a complete disaster.
I know what. The Old Testament, because it won't be the nice Jesus.
Right? And then you got Donald Trump posting. I may as well just bring this up real quick. Oh, God, now you verify if I'm human. Yes, Truth Social. I'm fucking
that's
human.
ironic in about 40,000 ways.
Right. And then, of course, now I lost it. But where is it? Where is it? It's right down. Oh, there we go. We had the greatest 6 months of any president in the history of our country. And all the fake news wants to talk about is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. His brain is completely cooked at this point.
And you know what?
He's toast.
You know what? Everyone's sick of him. Everyone. His approval ratings are as saggy as his diaper. The lightest of states is obvious in many ways.
Yeah.
California, New York, okay, fine. But those dark blue states, those numbers aren't in like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s.
Right.
You know what's funny? They're not in the 40s or the 50s. Like the highest one is 33 and 32%.
Yeah.
Like nobody is okay with this. And why? Some of them are actually fed up with the immigration stuff. Some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them maybe you're seeing the light. You could spend all day on YouTube and TikTok watching FAFO videos. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There are millions of MAGA that are now not MAGA because of what he's doing with their people that they thought would be just brown enough to survive.
Yeah,
okay.
I
But
agree.
the Epstein thing, that was a campaign promise. And that wasn't just a campaign promise, because you got to really think about what the campaign that Donald Trump has always run is about. It's about hate and rage and retribution for perceived slights. It's about racism.
Right.
It's about imposing suffering on perceived enemies.
Right. That's all it's about. That's all it ever was about.
And guess what? If you're not going to punish the people on the list you said they were on, and your excuses are, don't look at all those pictures of me, don't look at all those things I sent to Jeffrey Epstein, don't look at the new videos and photos that CNN put out today. By the way, where were they before the election? Don't pay attention to any of that. Just, Obama. Well, guess what? You're not going to deliver on Obama either.
Did you hear the audio of the Howard Stern show, the new Unearthed audio about
12 is his lower limit?
Yeah, let's listen to that again. I may as well just nail the point home here. But yeah, again, he doesn't say I wouldn't date anybody under 18. He picks 12 as the example.
No, what's interesting, 12 is not an insignificant number, because you see a lot of child brides like that. The age of consent.
I have a theory.
9,
I have a
10,
theory
12.
that all the men that still support Donald Trump support him because they would also do the same thing.
That's his right as a man, and fertile young women. They're all obsessed with procreation. All these so-called, I know we're going off on a tangent, but it pisses me off.
No, it's fine.
These so-called alpha men are obsessed with spreading their fucking genetics, as if like animals act on impulse, because most of them don't have higher cognitive ability. You saying it is my imperative to spread my seed because that's nature. All right, then get off your computer and go find women the old-fashioned way and watch us shoot you when you come into our lawns. Like, what are you acting like? But no, but you're right, Jeremy. I guarantee you, the men that fully support Donald Trump now, other than their racism, other than their bigotry, are absolutely in agreement that there is no lower age to girls when it comes to acceptability.
I'm in 100%. I'm 100% convinced that that's why they're not more outraged, is because had they been presented the opportunity to sleep with these young girls, they would do it. They would do it, and they wouldn't be ashamed of it. And I think
that's a great question, by the way. Sorry.
I think they like that because we're dealing with the sickest, most degenerate part of our population, like literally the bottom of the intellectual barrel.
You know what's funny? I'm going to make a point because
I saw this comment.
There's a reason I'm going to make a point because this goes to, and
I was like, what?
You know why my social handle is Progressive Beard?
Yeah,
because I have hated the beards are for rugged Republican men thing.
Right.
Bullshit. You know how many times I've been said, you look like Duck Dynasty, you look like Jesus, you look like that. No, I look like a person who has a beard. Progressives can have beards too. So if I could add inches to my beard, the answer would be a foot. The answer I would tell my wife is I would remove 2 to 3 inches.
Yeah, believe it or not, like progressives can, like, I know Mike's against them, but like progressives can own firearms too. You know what I mean? It's like it's like they're under this misconception that we're these beta soy boys with nose rings and blue hairs who live in our mom's basement. We don't have guns. We don't have beards.
If you're a beta soy boy who has nose rings and blue hair, guess what? A, we on the left support your right to be that, and B, I guarantee you they have a gun too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys need to get away from this brainwashed material that you've been force fed, because it's not true. But all right, back to the audio here. This is Donald Trump saying that 12 is his basement for how young a woman. This is gross.
What is the best thing about being Donald Trump right now?
Well, other than the fact I'm married, okay,
right,
and I'm very happily married. I have a great wife. But if I weren't married, I'd be able to get all of the girls I want, except for possibly Robin.
Do you think you could now be banging 24-year-olds?
Oh, absolutely. I have no trouble.
Would you do it?
I have no problem.
Yeah, do you have an age limit, or would you?
No, I have no age. I mean, I have an age. I don't want to be
the
like
upper bracket,
Foley with 12-year-olds.
Can I make a prediction for you?
Yes.
I say you have one more marriage in you.
Yeah.
God, 12, not 18. You couldn't pick. I don't want to date anybody younger than 18. I don't want to date anybody like 12.
Okay, well then, what's your limit, guy?
Right, what is your limit?
Name a number. They gave you the opportunity. See, this is the thing about Donald Trump is he's never at any point in his life been intelligent. The man didn't earn anything. He was given everything in his life. If you think that's not true, you are stupid. Okay. The man believes he is a gift to this whole planet. He believes women I don't think he believes women want him. I truly believe his concern is that he can have anything he wants, anyone he wants. He gets off on that sick, twisted power. And the more of a victim, the more someone is vulnerable, that's what he likes. The more vulnerable they are, the more he wants them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember the time he was talking about Lindsay Lohan? I think she had just turned 18. And he thinks that women with mental problems are better in bed. Like, the shit that
is demented. And I'll tell you why, because it's easy to say, well, he thinks because he's taking advantage of them. And I'm going to not give him an out, but I'm going to say he's probably just over-sexualizing them as saying, well, women that aren't mentally this are prudes and I can't treat them how I want to treat them. You know what I mean? Like, that's where his sickness is.
Right.
I hate him. I hate him so much.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about real quick. We'll talk about Obama because they're really going all in on this, and people like former disgraced General Michael Flynn, who thinks legitimately that the COVID vaccine had little microscopic trackers in them. I swear to God, he did this on like CPAC or one of those Nazi rallies that they have. And he's like, yeah, they could track you with the COVID vaccine. They put the little thing underneath your skin and then they can track wherever you are. I'm like, oh my God. oh my God, this guy used to be a general in the military, but now he's on here talking to Benny Johnson, who is in fact a paid Russian propagandist, talking about that they should prosecute Obama and raid his home simply because they raided Donald Trump's home.
And what did they find?
No mention of the fact that Donald Trump had top secret documents and nuclear codes and all kinds of stuff he should not have. He could have possibly had the Epstein files at Mar-a-Lago. Has anybody checked Ivana's grave recently? We may know where the Epstein files are.
I am telling you right now. No, I'm not even going to go into it again. I'm not going to do it.
It's so funny, dude. Every time we talk about this, I swear that. I mean, seriously, Donald Trump. Think about it. If you were president and you were leaving office and you plan on taking a bunch of top secret information with you, and you had access to the Epstein files that have your name all over it, would you or would you not take them with you?
Do you think
common sense says, duh, you know what I mean? But we are talking about Donald Trump here, who's not very bright.
Casket. Do you think they're literally in a manila folder that says Epstein files on it?
Again, it took a whole lot of people to carry a woman who was cremated. That's all we're saying. You know,
also,
eight
pointing
people?
this out, I'm sure there are instances of people who are cremated being put in full-size caskets.
I'm sure.
But also at the same time, no.
I don't know.
If you're going skydiving, you don't bring swimming flippers.
That's funny. All right, let me play this. And again, Michael Flynn is a legitimate crazy person, but he is he's just one of those guys that won't go away. And people, for some reason, listen to him because he used to be a general and blah, blah, blah. But now he's a nut job.
Because they thought that there was, and they planted evidence there in that case. But I do think that what the DOJ should be considering, if not getting ready to conduct, is a raid of Barack Obama's home up there at Kalorama in Washington, D.C., where he's been since he physically left the White House. He's been running the White House, all during the Biden regime. And I do think that there's some other places that need to be raided where there are likely, a lot of evidence, a lot of receipts, so to speak, in many of these people that are part of the Obama White House as well as the Biden White House. I mean, I just heard the great David Schoen talking about the former Deputy Attorney General of Monaco, who also was the Homeland Security Advisor to Barack Obama. So that's number one. Those are things that need to be considered right now.
Serious.
And I was ready to wake up this morning to hear about some of these raids that should have been going on.
So, okay, people need to understand. Mike Flynn is one of those people in the military that is a true Christian nationalist fundamental believer. He went into the military either with those beliefs or developed them along the way, and he has used and will use any influence he has to destroy democracy in America for his own religious and political beliefs.
And he's crazy.
Obama didn't do anything treasonous. Did he do stupid shit? Yeah. Did he bomb things he shouldn't have? Did he bomb people he shouldn't have? Did he do things that I didn't like? Yes. But he didn't, and I repeat, didn't invoke an insurrection on January 6th. Did we all forget about that?
I know. And again, this would be considered an official act because Obama was president when they say this happened, so he can't be prosecuted anyways.
But you know what the irony is? Trump potentially would try to take it to that point, because the beauty of justice and laws is that if you agree to follow them, that's the trick. But when you say, screw it, I'm going to act first and see what happens later, Donald Trump's going to act just like he did with everything else in his life. He sues people and then sees what happens and hopes he could wait them out. Right. If Donald Trump was to arrest Obama, which, by the way, Obama's Secret Service would not allow it, there would be a shootout. Sorry, they wouldn't be. But what do you think would happen? He would either have to bring that case in front of the Supreme Court, and either they would say, you're right, he doesn't have immunity, or, Don, we gave you immunity, he has immunity now. So is he
Right.
just going to go against and totally break all the rule of law, even the appearance of it to that degree? Maybe.
They are
I
not
don't know.
listening to judges, though. That's the
How
thing.
about
They
this?
are not
I don't
listening
think.
to judges. There's no due process anymore.
Well, Farron Cousins on one of his shows today said, and I'm going to screw up the number. It's like 43% of the court orders that are telling Donald Trump's administration to stop doing things are being ignored.
Yep.
And guess
Yep.
what happens in a system that has checks and balances? Congress is supposed to look at that and go, wow, this president is ignoring the Supreme Court. Let's impeach him.
Right. But yeah, we don't have that. We have and according to True Social, Donald Trump is just giving out tens of millions of dollars to different states for random reasons. Like one here, he has Gretchen Whitmer. He's giving them $50 million for the terrible winter storms they endured 6 months ago. They're just bribing. He's just straight up bribing people now in certain states to keep them quiet. With our money. This is our tax money. But all right, enough of this. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about Trump anymore. We want to talk about what we think is the new way forward, and that is democratic socialism, because democratic capitalism sucks a big one. Just it eats a giant bag of dicks. I hate capitalism. I've tried my whole life to be a beneficiary of capitalism, and what I've realized it is complete bullshit. Some people get lucky and make it, but most people don't. They end up
Most people don't even have a chance
and stressed out and wondering, how they're going to feed their family, how they're going to make rent, how they're going to pay their car insurance. That's how most people in America live. I always throw out the number that 50% of America makes less than $30,000 a year per capita. I'm not talking about household income per person.
Sorry, Brina.
50% makes less than $50,000 a year, which to me is insane. So capitalism is designed, now know, is completely designed to funnel money upwards.
Let's play baby games. Capitalism and socialism.
Yeah.
Social means people. Capital means.
Right.
So which one do you think is really meant for whom? Okay.
And they've convinced everybody like that giving corporations bailouts is capitalism, and that's good business. But giving those same bailout, that same amount of money they give to one person, like the money they give to Elon Musk, could help tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. Then they're like, oh no, that's socialism. That's bad.
Meanwhile, Congress, who is now not doing their job for a month to 2 months, is going to get health care for free that we pay for.
Yep.
So one thing you're going to see as I take you through this brief.
Oh, do you want me to play the video that you sent me first?
Yeah, 1 sec. I'll let you know when.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Is that you're going to be able to see. I did some looking on videos today, at my lunch break, to see what videos were on YouTube about democratic socialism. There's like a couple that actually talk about it, and the rest are all just right-wing propaganda. But when you look at the facts and you look at the real world and you actually speak to the people that live there, for example, Jeanette, who I don't think is on tonight, but lives in this democratic socialist country, it is exactly what those of us trapped in America think it is in the best possible way. And one of the reasons for that, and I caught this little bit in my head from a video I watched today, the countries today that are democratic socialist were all capitalist, because they were the countries that really were so old that they were part of the, I don't want to say invention of capitalism, but they prospered from capitalism for a long time. And then they chose to move towards a model that protects its people more than its billionaires.
Yep.
That's all the difference is. The people choose to help themselves for the benefit of all, or the people choose to help a few people get rich and screw the rest of the people over. That's the only difference. And why are we talking about it? So I am going to apologize because I'm probably going to end up be reading a lot of stuff here, but it is an interesting journey. This is how it started, the idea for this episode. Jenna, who is a friend of the show, posted this. Having two Muslim democratic socialists for mayoral candidate is everything that makes America beautiful and is an incredible anecdote for fighting and destroying the sick fascist threat growing in this country. So I was like, wait, what? There's two of them? Oh, there are. So this is interesting. We know that New York establishment Democrats are not sure what to do with Mamdani, but Andrew Cuomo knows what to do. He said he's going to run as an independent, and if he loses, he's going to leave for Florida.
Good.
Great. The incumbent Eric Adams is also running as an independent. Think about that. So now we have a former governor, the current mayor, running as independents against a Democratic socialist who everyone in the city wants to be their mayor. And then the Republicans are going to put that scumbag piece of garbage, Curtis Sliwa, up against all that. It's going to be some hell of a race. But why does this matter in terms of Mamdani? Because Mamdani was the first one in this country, and very soon after that, we have a second one. Okay? We have an endorsement of a Democratic socialist, and it's waking up a sleepy Minneapolis mayor's race. Omar Fateh wins over Jacob Frey Saturday is likely to energize both sides of the city's political landscape. Because the DFL is the Democratic Farmer Labor Party, an incredibly influential group. The DFL's endorsement of Democratic Socialist candidate Omar Fateh Saturday night abruptly rousted what has been a fairly sleepy race for a mayor of Minneapolis. Fateh's supporters are energized, including several city council members who donned his T-shirts and worked the convention. But his endorsement will also be an alarm bell for voters on the sidelines who are quietly worried about the, quote, leftward lurch of city politics. Okay, all right. Here's what people said about it. This campaign, hold on, I need to turn off one thing real quick. Sorry. This campaign isn't about baby steps, Fateh said, who has served in the state Senate since 2021. It's about flipping priorities and building people power. Fateh supports rent control, for example, and says the city shouldn't be a playground for developers. Frey touts how housing development has kept rents down. We know that in places where it's developers can just do whatever they want, okay, and rent gets out of control, who does that benefit? I could keep buying more land, and I take all of your money and I jack the rent up. You stay poor, just enough money to keep paying me rent to live there, but you can't own because that's for my class of people.
Right. And then you have corporations across the country that are buying up land and real estate and then controlling the rent.
Now,
again,
when people have good housing that they're secure in, they have ownership or rent, but when they have a home and they're comfortable in it, they spend more money. So again, capitalism isn't about having a robust economy. It is about milking every cent of capital from the people that are poorer than you.
Right.
It's an unsustainable system because money doesn't exist. You invent it and you say that's arbitrarily worth that much because these goods I'm going to hold a arbitrary supply and demand on. It's all bullshit. It doesn't help anyone except the people that make the numbers up. Okay. But again, we're going to start seeing the same attacks on this person as we did on Mamdani. What did Fox News put up? Panels on trying to get people to be afraid of him. Housing, freeze the rent, build affordable housing. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Affordability, creating city-owned grocery stores, fare-free buses.
Oh, how
public
dare
transport to get people to work, to have money, to be able to keep prices low for groceries so they could just fucking eat. LGBTQIA protections, expanding and protecting gender-affirming care. Oh, wow. Ooh. Making NYC, an LGBTQI sanctuary city. I love that. Labor, raising the minimum wage to $30 by 2030. Explain to me how that hurts you. You know who it hurts? The capitalists who own the companies that already said how much money they're going to make for a profit for next quarter. So they're not going to give you more money. They're not going to pay you more because they got to make that profit. All right. One more. Mamdani's $10 billion agenda just for New York City. Universal free childcare. Oh, so you should be able to just have a community take care of itself and not have to go bankrupt by having kids, which you demand people do. Free buses for all, city-run grocery stores, no-cost childcare, anti-police safety department. Interesting. Creating an office of LGBTQI affairs. Point is, the voters chose him knowing those platforms. Voters of a major city on the planet went, yeah, we want a democratic socialist.
We're good with that. You know, it's funny. I was just thinking real quick that a lot of the things Kamala Harris ran on, you could consider to be democratic socialism. Like
Look,
she wanted to give out, they wanted to build affordable new housing, just like Zoe Rondani. They were talking about building millions of houses across the country. And she was talking about giving out what was it, 50 grand to start a new business and tax deductions, which we were looking forward to.
She's not a democratic socialist the same way these gentlemen are, but she was leaning towards the more compassionate side of the Democratic Party, not the centrist, complicit scumbags. The people that, while we may not agree with completely, she still was like, yeah, but like people need to like have a place to live and have food. Is that so freaking much to ask?
Right. Why is food not a human, just basic fundamental right?
Because you got to make money on it.
That's what I'm saying. Like even food in this money is about profit.
Money. Okay.
It's exhausting.
Right. So let's now, this is going to be a little dry, but I'm going to try and infuse it with sarcasm. It's not necessarily to educate ourselves and our viewers because we've talked about this. And I can tell you right now, everyone who watches us has intelligence and knows how to do research and probably knows all this stuff already. But I want to reiterate it because it's important to see that major cities in New York and in America and in little small towns are starting to go, capitalism isn't working for me and my family, and it hasn't for about 250 years now.
Forever. We're done with it.
All right, here we go. Fun stuff. Nope. Sorry. Here we go. Democratic socialism, as defined by Merriam-Webster, a political movement calling for the establishment of a decentralized socialist economic system within a democratically run political system. I'm going to pause there. Because one thing I've said my entire adult life where I've understood these concepts is the people who don't want democratic socialism don't understand the difference between a political system and an economic system. Their brains cannot understand that because they're lazy and stupid. Okay, let's get back to it. Here's a quote. According to the Democratic Socialists of America, remember that, we're going to come back to that. The goal of having democratic socialism is to achieve a more equal and just society, that the economy and society be run democratically. Oh, God, that's so scary. Okay, here's another quote. Democratic socialism remains poorly understood and is frequently conflated incorrectly with communism. Now we've entered the MAGA territory. Or on the flip side, with European style social democracy. Very different things. This is interesting. The term has only existed not that long. Since the term socialism entered English around 1830, it is consistently referred to a system of social organization in which the ownership of the property and the distribution of income, which already exists under capitalism, are subject to social rather than private control. That's the sentence that tells you that. Why? Because capitalism is about everything going to private control. Doesn't mean the government, it means the people. In a democracy, the government is run by and for the people. So if we vote humans in that care about each other, that will benefit us. If we vote capitalist assholes in, that will hurt us. The conception of that control, however, has varied. And socialism has been interpreted in widely diverging ways, ranging from Stalinist to libertarian, from Marxist to liberal. Yes, because there are many different styles and flavors of things. In the modern era, pure socialism has been seen only rarely and usually briefly in a few communist regimes. Far more common are social democracies such as Sweden and Denmark, democratically elected governments that employ some socialist practices, but within a capitalist framework in the belief that extensive state regulation paired with limited state ownership produces a fair distribution of income without impairing economic growth. So in other words, if you are having a government for the people, by the people, you make sure that you don't turn off capitalism because you need capitalism at times to drive certain things.
Sure.
And it's fine for people to have other things that other people don't as far as luxuries. Okay. You could buy whatever yacht you want. Everyone should be able to afford food the exact same way, the same type of food, the same quality of food. Is that really that freaking like drastic?
Right.
Is it?
And it's not like the only people that would be affected, I guess, negatively in their eyes would be the rich people.
Like a few billionaires.
Right. A handful of people would be inconvenienced. They would be slightly less rich than they already are. I mean, think about this. Some of these people could lose 99% of their worth and still be fucking billionaires. Like, think about it right now. If you lost 99% of everything you've ever had, how would you be okay? Would you still be just fine? No, you would be crushed. Your world would end. Your world would be over. But these people, it's nothing. So why is it so hard to convince the populace that it's a good thing for billionaires to pay more so we can have more? But it's not exactly a hard concept. But for some reason in the United States, it's just nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. But
so now enter our mayoral candidates, because we now have people who are declaring themselves and are aligned with the American Democratic Socialists of America Party.
Bernie's one.
Yes. So let's see what that actually means. Capitalism, this is from the Democratic Socialists of America site. This is their definition of what they are trying to do, what their vision is for America. Capitalism is a system designed by the owning class to exploit the rest of us for their own profit. Find the lie in that sentence. We must replace it with democratic socialism, a system where ordinary people have a real voice in our workplaces, unions, neighborhoods, and society. We believe there are many avenues that feed into the democratic road to socialism. Our vision pushes further than historic social democracy and leaves behind authoritarian visions of socialism in the dustbin of history. This is their bullet points, their political platform. Deepening and strengthening democracy. That is their first goal. Think about that. So see how they're saying we're strengthening democracy, right? Because you can have a socialist democracy. Okay, here we go. Abortion of the where is that? Abolition of the carceral state. Meaning, sorry. That means we shouldn't have the world's highest percentage of prisoners, not just because we have so many people, because compared to other places, we freaking don't. And our prison population is a embarrassment. Okay. Abolition of white supremacy. Self-explanatory.
That's a must.
And if you're against that, I guess that means you must be a white supremacist. A powerful labor movement, which means people dictate their hours, their pay, their benefits, everything that gives them security in their job, not the owners that want to milk you for profit. Economic justice. Therefore, everyone should have the same chance to achieve the same things with the same amount of effort. Just because you're born rich doesn't mean you just get to do whatever you want. Right. Gender and sexuality justice, self-explanatory. Green New Deal. AOC's twitching. Health justice, meaning we should have health care for all, and it shouldn't be the richer you are, you could afford the better health care.
Exactly.
If that's all wealth is, if that's all your money buys you, is your medical care and power, then capitalism is the greatest evil on the planet, which ironically I think it is. Anyway, housing for all. Ooh, booga booga, how scary. International solidarity, anti-imperialism, and anti-militarism. So in other words, let's stop being assholes at home and everywhere and start helping ourselves. Is that really that
nice.
Radical?
That would be nice.
Now, was it really that hard? One last comment about democratic socialism. Today's social democracies retain a capitalist system overall, while democratic socialism rejects capitalism fully and seeks to establish a decentralized socialist economic system within a democratically run government. What's so radical? Because when the right starts saying the radical things, they immediately go to, well, it's communism. No, it's not. Define communism. I just define democratic socialism. In its definition is that it doesn't work like communism. What are their criticisms? Well, then the government will take my money. The government already takes your money. They give it to the rich in the way of tax write-offs, and they don't give you health care. They give it to senators and congress people. In democratic socialist countries, they take that same money, which is often less, and they give it back to you first.
Bro,
You get your own money back first. Your sick neighbor, your 2 cents of every person in your country pays for the medical care for that person. 2 cents? Because guess what? When you're sick and you can't pay your bills, you'd wish that someone else paid 2 cents to keep you alive. Is that so radical? No.
Right. But instead, they'd rather kick people that are already receiving some sort of democratic socialism, like, because that's what, like Medicaid and stuff like that, those are forms of socialism. People are like, no, those are social programs. I'm like, yeah, well, what's the root word in socialism, you dumb shit? It's social. But yeah, so we have socialism built into our society right now, but the capitalism wants to kill all the socialism, all of it. They actually came out with, I forgot about this, a couple years ago, I think it was, or was it? Yeah. They came out with a bill where they wanted to, they introduced it. I don't think it went anywhere. It was literally titled like the evils of socialism. And that was what the whole bill was about, because they've been wanting to go after any government program that helps people. Republicans have wanted to get rid of them for years, decades, if anything. So yeah, that's why they're going after it now.
So what I want to
It would be nice if we had more. It would be nice if we had more.
What I started this off with is I'm going to show you that when you ask the people who live in these structures what they think, you often find a different story than what Charlie Kirk might tell you. Okay, so let's take a look at them. The countries with the highest social mobility, okay, which means in America, we don't like to think we do, but we have an economic caste system, right? If you are born poor, the chances of you ever getting anything close to upper class is pretty much impossible.
Yeah, good
Does
luck.
it happen? And do we make big deals of those stories to keep lying to everyone, to make everyone work harder to think it'll happen to them?
Yeah.
Yes, but it doesn't. Okay. Guess what the number one country with social mobility is? Denmark. Guess what their system is? Democratic socialism. Guess what the next one is? Norway. Guess what their system is? Democratic socialism. Third, Finland, democratic socialism. Sweden, democratic socialism. I'm like, do I gotta?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what was US 27th?
Something like that. Next, most happy places to live for over 60s, which means when you're supposed to be relaxing and enjoying the end of your life, unlike in America where they're telling you to go work in the fields to pick corn for your health care.
Yeah.
Well, that's happening in America. Denmark, number one place, over 60. Finland, Norway, Sweden. Are those democratic socialist countries?
Even
Yes,
Canada is above us.
Because Canada is capitalist, but they show how you can still be capital. This is the trick. You could be capitalist purely and choose to put money or as a government make billionaires put money back into the people.
Right.
And then without naming yourself democratic socialism, you have now used capitalism to help social things. Therefore, you're essentially socialist capitalism. You understand how it gets gray? The simple point is you just have to take care of the people and they'll shut up. There is a number. I don't know what it is. It's different for everyone. It's different for every population, every country. I'm sure there's a number that if people made that much, they'd be okay with the billionaires having the yachts, because I'd be able to have, I don't know, a nice car and get some tattoos.
Honestly,
there's a number, but they still won't give us that. Think about that.
If I could make enough to just buy my weed and just hang out and do our thing on the show and fund the show and have food and pay my bills, I'd be cool.
I want to be able
I
to
don't
travel.
need to
That's
be
it.
filthy rich. Like some of us are not determined to be filthy rich. You know what I mean? Some of us just want enough to be able to live. Well, like right now, I feel like I'm not even living my life. I feel like I'm just existing. Yeah, I feel like I'm just existing. Like I don't even feel like a main character in my life most of the time. You know what I mean? I feel like an NPC because I'm constantly like just in the background, worried about my bills and worried about money and how am I going to pay this?
Think about that. A rich person, whatever that means to you, whatever you classify as rich. Let's say you have more than $1 million in the bank. But to be fair, nowadays, let's say you have $10 million in the bank or up. Those people never wake up going, oh man, I hope I have enough to pay blah blah blah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
or
you don't
things that are
understand.
essential. If you wake up and go, shit, I'm going to bounce that $40,000 check this month for my 4th house. Go fuck yourself. I don't care.
That's what I mean. We have people in the office at government now that have always been rich. Like, they don't know what it's like to be us because they've never been us. And the ones that have worked their way up in life are Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Like, the ones that have been handed everything their entire life and have this naive thinking that, people on Medicaid are just living off the government and they're just able-bodied workers and they're just mooching. It's like, y'all have never been poor. You've never been poor. You've never experienced it. You know what I'm saying?
So, just a couple more slides to prove my point. Drive it home. I'm sorry if you're getting sick of it, but I'm angry.
I like the information. Yeah.
Ranking. Now, this is a little older because the UN isn't going to do a worldwide planetary survey all the time, but it is a ranking of happiness amongst every country on the planet. Let's look at number 1. Finland. Number 2, Denmark. Number 3, Sweden, Iceland, Norway, Netherlands. Like,
I see a trend.
I see a trend. Now, I know MAGA can't follow patterns because that square block, they're still trying to ram it in the triangle hole. But like, I can follow certain patterns, okay? Here's another one. Life satisfaction. I'm happy with my life.
Right.
On a 0 to 10 scale. Number 1, here we go. Finland. Number 2, Denmark. Number 3, Iceland. Number 4, Sweden. I mean, like, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Israel's even up there before ahead of us.
Well, they live a lot.
Well, they get free healthcare
on our hog.
That's what I'm saying. Israel gets socialism that we don't even get. Like, we literally pay for their healthcare and their college.
And everyone in this country is paying money from their salaries, from their existence, to have complete and utter socialism in Israel.
Right, and we can't get it here. We can pay for theirs.
No, I'm not commenting
we can't
on
have
Israel and what it's doing right now. This isn't that conversation. This is America is paying for another state's socialism.
Yes.
And you're okay with that.
Right, but you're not okay with us having it here.
Just one last one. One last one, I promise. Happiness around the world. This is from 2022. Okay? Doesn't go over every country. It highlights some here and there. Now, I'm interested personally in America because America must be the number 1 place to be, right? It's the best place on the planet. Aliens travel from all over the galaxy to probe Americans because we're the best planet. Oh, we're 16th. Okay. All right, 16th. So obviously, Russia's number 1, right?
Sure.
Because Russia's awesome. People are moving from America to Russia because there's so
right.
in us.
We talked about that yesterday.
What's the highest one on this list? Is it Switzerland, democratic socialism?
Yep. And this is
Russia. Wait. 80th. Look at that up there at the top.
80th. Holy shit. And this is pre-Trump second term. Okay, we're our 16th. I guarantee that number is going to be plummeting here if they ever do another one of those surveys. Why Americans give us
I'm in a dark mood today, so whatever.
No, I mean,
oh my God, everyone's spicy in the comments today.
And free schooling. I know, right? Everybody's pissed off today.
I thought that said and free school shootings. My bad, but still.
Yeah, come to America and you get a free school shooting.
Well, how about that? The World Cup and the Olympics are starting to vocally be like, maybe we're not coming to the U.S.
Good. I wish they shouldn't. They shouldn't. I hope that, honestly, in my little town, I think it's next month. Or is it this month? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's this month. We have the Little League World Series in my city in Williamsburg, Pennsylvania. Yeah, the Little League World Series. So we're gonna have kids.
I would love to see that one day.
It's so dope. It is completely free. Like, if you're ever in the area, like, this is just one of the most amazing things to watch. It's literally like a miniature Little League or Major League stadiums. Yep. ESPN covers it, but there's kids coming from all over the world. Knowing that what's going on in America right now, I think that's absolutely crazy. I don't think they should be bringing their kids to the United States knowing damn well they could be snatched off the street by ICE. God forbid they're not in their uniform and they're out playing with their friends or exploring the local community, and ICE rolls up and throws them in the back of a van.
Yep.
Like that's actually happening right now. There are people in this country that we don't know where they're at. They're family members. Mike and I realize this. when we were at that rally the other day.
About that. I tell everyone about this.
There are people going to bed tonight that don't know where their husbands are, their fathers, their brothers, sisters. They don't even know where they are. They don't even know if they're in this country anymore. That's crazy.
They don't know if
but that's
they're
what's happening in the United
anymore.
States. Right. They don't even, right. Somebody don't even know they're alive. The guy that was here since like the 1980s, he lost his green card. He was here legally. He went to an appointment to get a new green card, and they arrested him and deported him to a country he's not from. Like,
I was watching a clip. I think I'm totally going to misattribute this to Mary Trump because I don't think it was Mary Trump, but for some reason I do. Anyway, I apologize for whoever I watched this on. There was a coach, I forget, I think it was in New York, Little League. He was like coaching his team and they were practicing. And like ICE showed up and he told them, he's like, he looked at the kids, and this was from his interview. He was like, I will die right now protecting you. Go hop over that fence.
I heard that story too.
Go hop over that fence right now. This is a day. If as a true Klingon, I will say it's a good day to die. And this guy is a Little League coach, and he took his promise to keep those kids safe when they're at practice.
Yeah.
To a level that far too many Americans are not willing to go. This guy, I don't know what else he had on in his life. I don't know if he had kids. I don't know what the hell's going on. But he was willing to defy and stand up to ICE to let these kids go. Why? Because ICE showed up at a fucking playground to snatch kids off the street with their faces covered, no badges, no masks, to somewhere unknown.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
And again, I stand firm on this. If they don't have a badge, their faces are covered, they don't have a warrant, you have 100% the right to self-defend. 100%. Okay? You have rights in this country until they completely destroy the Constitution. They're trying, but they haven't done it yet. So until then, we have rights, goddammit, that they cannot just go around violating. I'm sorry, that's not how it works. Americans are getting extremely pissed off. Like, this country is quite literally a powder keg, just waiting for somebody to light a fuse. And I swear to God, if one person dies on the streets because of ICE, that's going to be it, man. You're going to see a freaking revolution in this country. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. People are mad. We're tired of it. I'm not obviously advocating for violence, but, I believe it was the great Luigi Mangione said in his manifesto that, diplomacy, I don't know the exact words, I'm paraphrasing, but diplomacy only lasts so long. And if people aren't going to listen, then the next logical step, historically speaking, is violence.
Here's the thing. When people are like, oh, if the left violence. Okay, well, when you get pushed to a point.
Right, that's the thing.
Where think of it this way. And I'm going to use this analogy because I don't have kids. If someone was going to say, I'm going to take away your kids from you, and they take a gun and they put it in your child's face, what are you going to do?
Exactly. I can't say.
Are you going to let them take them?
I can't say what I would do.
Or are you going to think about this, because I'm looking at this from a little philosophical standpoint. Are you going to bum rush them and try and save your kid, or are you going to let them take them because if you're afraid if you try to take them, they'll shoot them? Because if you at that moment, what's the next moment that you have to give your life for your child? So I would do a little differently.
Yeah.
I'm not talking big because I don't know what decisions I make in the moment. But as I sit here right now, if I'm not willing to defend my country, there has to come a point where I am willing to do anything to defend democracy. If you are not, you are not a patriot. You do not believe in democracy, and you don't deserve to even be in the conversation.
No, I agree. And if you're not ready to fight and then stand up and stand on business, man, please just step aside, because we got a lot of work to do. We want you to join us. We want you to help us. But
it's a great question by Pamela. Why can't local law stop them? They don't have warrants or anything. Why don't the cops stop them? They can.
Cops are in on it.
They can, because the police organizations are letting them do it.
Yeah.
When we were on, I believe, Sons of Liberty with James, we were talking about how the mayor of LA, people are like, oh, she went there and she took some pictures. And James was like, yeah, that's great. But she could tell the cops to arrest ICE that show up in places that they are not allowed to go to and do things they are not allowed to do. ICE doesn't have badges. They don't have warrants, which means when they go to any town, city, municipality, one block that has a post office, they don't have any jurisdiction there over the local authorities. That's
yeah,
it.
we had, dude,
That's
the
it.
amount of cops we had alone for our peaceful protest that you and me went to was insane.
There was
You
at
guys
least
watch our
50,
live stream? There was at
50.
least 50 before we started. And then when they realized that we were surrounding the ICE building, they literally formed a police barricade
You were listening
between
to their
us.
radios.
Right. I was listening to radios. They're like, well, we don't know what's going on. They had no idea we were coming. It was
They were
fantastic.
afraid of a bunch of people carrying flowers, chanting hymns and singing the Star Spangled Frickin' Banner while holding up pictures of stolen brown people. And they're like, oh shit. And then what did we do when we got there? We all sat down and had a moment of silence.
Yeah.
And my personal favorite memory of that day is at the end of that moment of silence, while people were putting flowers and weaving it into the chain link fence to post pictures of their missing loved ones. Nice woman. She walked up to one of the cops standing right next to me. I have a picture of my foot, your foot, and his foot. Because remember how we just apparently were allowed to walk into the police line.
I know, Mike and I didn't even give a fuck. We were literally in the police barricade.
Point being,
this shit was funny.
This lady gave him a flower and said, thank you. And a lot of people do this at protests, semi-sarcastically, but also to prove a point. So she says, thank you for protecting the city, and handed him a flower. 2 seconds later, I look down and it's on the ground. Now,
of course,
one might say a cop shouldn't be carrying a flower. What if he has to grab his gun?
Drop the
Get
flower.
Your alpha male head out of your ass and realize that cops don't need to just wag it around in front of you all the time.
Right. Exactly. No, yeah, I agree, man. We got a lot of work to do. But there's, I don't know, there's reasons to be optimistic, I think, because it's going to be a ridiculous ride. And I think this entire Epstein thing is going to be a stain on the Republicans forever. I don't know if this is something they'll ever be able to recover from. They're obviously trying to avoid it like the plague by shutting down Congress. That shit's hilarious. You're like, we're just gonna go home and pretend this doesn't exist. So anyway, guys, this is the last that's all we have for today's show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be taking tomorrow off, but Thursday I will be back on to do another news recap. But I said it's 6. I think I'm gonna do it at 8:00 at night. And I want to do it for longer than an hour. I want to do it for a couple hours, but it'd be more like hanging out in the comments with everybody instead of, going on rants and stuff like that.
I gotta
like
tell
have people
you,
ask
everyone
questions.
better watch out if and when we ever have the ability to sit online all day and do lives all the time. People,
it'll be fun.
Are gonna get sick of us, and I can't wait.
Well, there's a lot of streamers like Hassan Piker. He does it. Like they get on live and they just sit on live all day long and they stream. And I'm just like, I can't do that.
Well, we've always talked about what that would
point.
look like. Like we would obviously structure our day, but we'd spend some time just bullshitting, looking up news. Maybe getting ready to do some short form content, take a break here. Like we would have so much fun, and it would be a way for us to stay connected with everyone as the day develops.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to hang out with people in the comments all day and go over stories, expand and stuff. Like we even want to do like a political comedy channel with.
We've
James
always talked about that.
We've got a lot of plans. So, and also don't forget there is another nationwide protest planned by 5051. I'm in touch with the guy. Damn it, I forgot to email him again today. I'll have to do that tomorrow. I want to try and get them on the show. Some of the organizers from 5051.
Pamela, we'll post something on YouTube. We'll make like a little ad. You'll see it on. We'll post it.
Yeah, so Thursday it'll be 8 p.m. East Coast time instead of 6. That'll give me more time throughout the day to kind of plan the show out, and come up with like a better format.
Brina,
that'd be awesome. Absolutely, Brina, that would be so cool. And again, if anybody wants to come on and talk shit with us, man, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me know.
The community that makes everything. That's what we're here for, to build a community.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks, guys, for hanging out with us tonight. Hope you enjoyed all of the information. And again, like I said, we got a lot of work to do. One of these days, we'll wake up and have that beautiful headline. You all know which one I'm talking about, but unfortunately, it was not today. Ozzy died today, but the person we were hoping kicked the bucket is still kicking.
Call out to the Dark Prince.
Right. He must have known he was going out with that farewell concert that he did or whatever. So, yeah. All right, guys. Love you all. Thanks for all the support. And we'll see you on Thursday. Have a good night.